Welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. Today, we are going to be talking about Byron Young, and rightfully so. Is he about to become a star? Is he already a star? I'm going to get into why I think this week is actually maybe the biggest game of his career. Before we get started, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Also, be sure to hype the video and check out today's sponsor, Sleeper, because the NFL season is in fact here, and it means you have a chance to 100x your cash on daily fantasy football, picking on stats like touchdowns, passing yards, receiving yards, fantasy points, and more, up to 100x your payout. So if you want to try it, head on over to Sleeper, use the code JKB, and you'll get a $100 match on your first deposit. So let's get started now. Byron Young. This is a player, as of today, leads all defensive players in total EPA, which is expected points added, based on solo tackles, assisted tackles, interceptions, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, and sacks. He's a reminder of what happens when the Rams draft a pass rusher that has durability and a high floor instead of a high ceiling and is not at all durable. Learn from the mistake of Terrell Lewis back in the third round, back in the day, out of Alabama. They grabbed a more likely sure thing out of Tennessee in the third round, and he has definitely answered the bell. Byron Young's career, he started every single game since 2023. Every single game. 967 snaps in 2023, 50 pressures, 61 tackles, 8 sacks, 8 TFLs, and an 8.8 pass rush win rate. However, in 2024, while he showed consistency at 844 snaps, 44 pressures, 62 tackles, and 7.5 sacks, 12 TFLs, his win percentage went up to 11.1%. But this year, and albeit it's only been 2 games, Byron Young has a total of 105 snaps, 9 pressures, 14 tackles, 3 sacks, and 3 TFLs with a whopping 24.5% win percentage. Now, understand this. When you get in the 20s, we're talking about Jared Verse. We're talking about TJ Watt. We're talking about the best of the best. So how long can Byron Young stay there? Well, that remains to be seen. The divisional round against Philadelphia, he had 2 pressures and 11.8 win rate. However, earlier in the year, week 12 in 2024, he played Philly. I was at the game, of course. 3 pressures, and he had a 10 win rate. So he actually had a pretty decent time against Philly. Nothing dominant. Of course, going up against arguably the greatest right tackle we've seen in quite some time, Lane Johnson. He had 5 pressures. You go to week 5, 2023, his first year, he had 4 pressures, but PFF had him as a 0 win rate. And I don't think that's necessarily wrong because they had Aaron Donald at a 3.2 win rate. The Philly offensive line was arguably better in 2023, and he still was able to come away with 4 pressures, albeit he didn't really win. So what are we going to get out of him? Well, I think this week we're actually going to see him pressure the quarterback. I think he is going to win against Lane Johnson. I think he is for real. This is a bet that I'm willing to take. I understand, we could talk about the first 2 assignments going up against Ariante Ursary, giving up 5 pressures, 1 sack, a 91.2 pass blocking efficiency rating. And then week 2, while I thought it was Oli Udoh, apparently it was never Oli Udoh. It was actually John Ojukwu. So I want to make that very clear that I butchered that. Even watched the film and just assumed it was Oli Udoh. So apologies to Oli Udoh. He was terrible against the Broncos, not against the Rams. John Ojukwu. He did not do well against Byron Young, to say the least. 5 pressures, 2 sacks, a 91.5 efficiency rating. So what am I getting at here? Well, moving forward, the right tackles haven't been great. That could be leading to Byron Young looking like not only the MVP of the Rams right now, but one of the best defensive players in the league. But it also could be that he's about to prove himself. He's about to actually do it against Lane Johnson, who has 61 reps this year in pass pro, and he's given up 2 pressures, but no sacks. And 2 pressures in 2 games, we'll take that, right? Braden Smith, again against the Colts in week 4. He has 70 reps on the year, 3 pressures, no sacks. Colton McKivitz in week 5 against the Niners on Thursday night, 81 reps, 2 pressures, 1 sack. Roger Rosengarten, week 6 against the Baltimore Ravens, 55 pressures, 55 reps, 0 pressures, and 0 sacks. So I think really what I'm getting at here is that you can say, yeah, he hasn't really gone up against great competition to this point, but he's about to. And one thing I really want to make very clear about Byron Young is the biggest issue with Byron Young has been he gets off to great starts and does slow down as the season wears on. But an even bigger issue is that Byron Young has not been the best against the run. And that, at least through 2 games, looks like that is completely 180'd. Byron Young had a 5.6 run stop rate in 2023, a 4 run stop rate in 2024, and this year in 2025, he not only has a 16.2 run stop rate, he actually leads the NFL in all edge defenders in defensive stop rate, and in addition to that, defensive stops. So not only is he the MVP on the Rams, on the defense, but you're seeing a guy that is really emerging as one of the top talents defensively. Now, again, it goes back to, is Byron Young for real? We're going to find out. This is a huge opportunity against Lane Johnson. And if the Rams are going to win this game, they're going to need to get some production out of Agent Zero. I think BY is legit. The question is, and he is going to answer the bell one way or another in these next 4 games. The question is, how legit is he? Are we talking about a B player? Or are we talking about the Rams sitting on an A player here? Are we talking about the Rams where I think a lot of people just kind of assumed, yeah, they won't pay him. That's why they brought in Josiah Stewart, right? They're not going to pay him. He's going to be a great player, or, he's going to be fun to watch. He's going to be a good player, not a great player. And then they'll go their separate ways. They'll get a compensatory pick, probably a 4th rounder for him. But not so fast, because there's a chance, if you've already written Byron Young's story, well, he's actually the one that still has writing to do. And he's been a model of consistency. He's stayed healthy, and he's actually showing signs of getting much better, taking a huge leap forward. He's tied for 4th in sacks. If you're sleeping on Byron Young, you might be making a mistake. That's all I'm saying. This weekend, Philadelphia, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time, Byron Young is going to get the opportunity to show everyone that these first 2 weeks are not a fluke, and rather just a signal of what's to come. And if that's the case with Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Kobe Turner, and more, this Rams defense is going to be on a whole other plane than where they were last year, and that's saying something. Having only allowed 1 touchdown in the first 20 possessions offensively this year, this defense has a 5% touchdown give-up rate, okay? They're legit, and Byron Young is a big reason. The forced fumble against Cam Ward really blew open the game. We'll see what he can do this week, and he's got his work cut out for him. Jalen Hurts. But more importantly, I think more important than anything, is that run defending. If he has actually changed it around, and he's not a 5.6% run stopper, and we're talking about him being in the teens this year, the Rams are in a really good position. But those are my thoughts. Let me know in the comments section below. I'm a really big fan of what Byron Young's doing. I think early on, he looks better than Jared Verse. And look, Jared Verse has 7 pressures, okay? So he's not that far off from Byron Young, who currently right now has 9 pressures. The 24.5% win rate, though, signals that he's consistently winning. And I don't care who he's going against. These are NFL right tackles at the end of the day. They're not Lane Johnson, but this has to count for something. And I believe we're about to see it this Sunday. So you guys let me know in the comments section. Be sure to like, subscribe, hype, and check out today's sponsor, Sleeper. Again, JKB is the code. And I will see you guys in the next video.